Steve's here for a walkthrough of the Texas Retail Energy Provider Electricity Application Management process. I hope this will help you in filing an application and licensing of your new Texas rep. I created this field, this database for only those who are new reps and are looking for option one licenses, and option one being the ones where you're serving electricity to residential, small commercial, and large commercial. So in creating the management tool, I broke the application into multiple parts. I have here in the first field a list of the various application sections and given them a name. I've also created categories, and I've created those categories so that you can have different views over here where these have already been prepared for you, so that if you only want to look at, let's say, Part A, you would only have to look at Part A instead of the entire main view. That may make your work a little easier to focus on. In this field, I've broken the application form up into its subparts and pretty much isolated the section form for the form of the section. Sometimes there's a little overlap, but you really want to focus on that question that pertains to that section. I've also created a field here for assign to, so it's multiple choice, so you can create your own drop-down list and add people, and you can include not only just one person to be responsible, but multiple people to be responsible. This field is the final due date, so it gives you a chance to add an individual, or a date by which the individual must complete the particular section of the application, and that will be tracked in the block section as to level of completion. There's a status here that you can choose from, which is both not started, in progress, and completed. So management can look and see, how much is being completed, what's in the pipeline, what's had not started yet. Under status notes, this is a very important field because it allows you to describe any roadblocks, obstacles, requests for information from other colleagues in order to complete your section. This field is the place where you can put your draft versions. It would be including not only the completed form, but any exhibits that would go with it. For example, on the experience section, you'd want to include exhibits like resumes, past employment history, things like that. The final version is where you would locate the final approved version that would then be filed with the commission. And next to that is the field where I've created a rich text drop-down checklist where I've identified legal and some unnamed officer. You can actually put a name on that officer, but the point would be that before this could be filed, you would want to make sure that you had a check mark here, like that, and any of the two people that have to approve. You then have a date filed field where you would put the date that you actually submitted the application to the commission through the portal. And then based on past experience, there's probably going to be some requests here for additional information from the commission, and you want to notate that here in a narrative description and maybe an attachment if you need to. You would also then use this field to record the supplemental filing, maybe an email response, maybe something more substantive that had to actually be filed with the commission, and then the date of the supplemental filing. Now you can expand these fields and get into more granular detail if you want to. This, I thought, set up the basic process that you should use and help you organize your process. I've also created some blocks here, and the blocks basically include a description of what this database is used for. I've highlighted the fact that it's only for new Texas retail licenses looking for an option one certification. I have an embed here that I will have a website URL here, which will be a YouTube video, which would be a copy of this training session. So people can actually understand a little bit better if they have any questions more that's not intuitive about the management tool. And finally, there's a percentage of sections completed that will all automatically be tallied as people note sections as completed. The management can look at this and see the dashboard and see how much is completed. I do want to point out again once more under the views, you have views like related to Kanban, which would be about which ones are completed, in progress, and not started. You also then would have different sections that you could isolate, say Part C here. We just have the Part C sections that needed to be completed, and that can be helpful. And then there's actually a section here related to the affidavits that need to be completed. And there would basically be 2 in this particular application process. So I hope this is helpful to you and is a starting point for a very robust management process that will record the history of what changes were made, how it was done, any communications between the team members about exchange of information, and allow management in real time to see the progress that's being made on the application process rather than having to walk to people's cubes to find out who's doing what and where they are in their process. This will save a lot of time because all of this stuff can be shared under the shared tag, and you can create either a shared view of a particular section or even a shared link to the whole base so that people can access this from both their desktop and a laptop, a tablet, and even your mobile phone, so that they would be able to see from wherever they are the status of this application process. Thank you for your attention, and I hope you enjoy my tools.